Hello everyone, and welcome to the Week 7 edition of the Wilkes Journal-Patriot's High School Football Rundown presented by Cooks and produced by Riverstreet Productions. I'm sports editor Zach Colburn, and assistant sports editor Brandon Moree will be with us in just a minute to take a closer look at this week's games. We've gotten through 2 weeks of conference play already, and it seems like a matchup between Wilkes Central and East Wilkes for the NVAC title in a few weeks seems inevitable. Brandon's got more in that game over at the big board.
Thanks, Zach. After 2 weeks of conference play, we've seen 4 inter-county matchups, and none of those games have really been as competitive as we might have thought coming into the season. But either way, we're going to start this week's rundown by taking a look at East Wilkes' 60-13 win against the Blackhawks on Friday night in Ronda. East Wilkes moved to 2-0 in the conference and 6-0, still undefeated on the season, while West Wilkes fell to 4-2 and 0-2 in the conference. The Cardinals put things away pretty early as they scored 24 points in the first quarter, and they kept their foot on the gas. Both that young man right there, Devin Couch, and quarterback Bryce Vestal had phenomenal games, both on the ground and through the air, as the Cardinals, still perfect, looking to maintain that perfect record as they move on into conference play. Bryce Vestal, 6 for 8 passing for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 2 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown as well. Running back Damian Reed had 3 carries, and he found the end zone on 2 of those for 112 yards, and he had 2 catches for 21 yards as well. And Devin Couch, who we saw make a couple of great plays there, 5 carries for 93 yards and 1 catch for 32 yards and a pair of touchdowns for the Blackhawks. Alex Ortiz went 3 for 8 for 82 yards. He had 24 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. Also, Dallas Rash found the end zone for West Wilkes on 1 of his 5 carries. He had 41 yards in the game. Okay, on the other side of town, Wilkes Central and North Wilkes met in Hayes on Friday night. And the Eagles improved to 2-0 in the Mountain Valley Athletic Conference with a 36-20 win against a very tough North Wilkes squad. That's Cedric White right there. He found the end zone on the ground in the game for the Vikings, but for the first time in a regular season game since Week 6 of last year, Jarrett Grimes was held out of the end zone by a great effort from the Wilkes Central defense. In the second half, Wilkes Central pulled away by scoring 14 points in both the third and the fourth quarters, thanks to the efforts of the running backs, freshman Joe Ray Morrison and senior Tyler Bowles. They combined to go over 350 rushing yards in the game. Bowles had 258 of those. He scored 3 touchdowns on 20 carries, and Joe Ray went for 100 yards on 13 carries, and he scored twice. He had a 1-yard touchdown run and a 3-yard touchdown run, both in the third quarter. For the Vikings, Grimes still had a fantastic game, going over 100 yards as he has in every game all season. He had 28 carries. Cedric White, who we apologize, his name is misspelled there, that's White with an I, had 6 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. And Ethan Brown went 7 for 17 passing for 151 yards and a touchdown. He also had 13 carries for 36 yards and found the end zone on the ground as well. Okay, that's going to do it for the highlights. That's a lot of information to get through. Now let's take a look at the Riverstreet Productions play of the week. We're going back to Ronda. No, excuse me. We're going back to Hayes. This is Tyler Bowles. He had 258 rushing yards, and here's a big chunk of them. Look at that young man go. Breakaway speed, and he's going to make it all the way to the pylon. A great start to conference play for the Eagles as they are 2-0, and that's going to do it for me. Zach, back to you.
Thanks, Brandon. All 4 of the Wilkes County teams will take a break from playing each other for the next 4 weeks and take on the rest of the teams in the Mountain Valley Athletic Conference, as East Wilkes will travel to Star Mount on Friday night, West Wilkes will host Allegheny on their homecoming, Wilkes Central will host Elkin on their homecoming, and North Wilkes make the trek up to Ashe County. And you can follow all that action at our Twitter and Instagram handle at WJP_sports. And while you're at it, go ahead and like us on Facebook as well. This has been the Week 7 edition of the Wilkes Journal-Patriot's High School Football Rundown presented by Cooks. We'll see you on Friday night.